Hey. Whew. Yeah, so welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Okay, so let's get down to the post-fight. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC on Fox Sports 1, Demian Maia versus Jake Shields. Yep, so let's get started with a post-fight rundown of the main card. Okay, to start off with the main event here, Demian Maia versus Jake Shields, welterweight bout. Man, was I disappointed. As a Demian Maia fan, I was disappointed. I mean, yeah, it was a worthy effort on both sides. They were both going for stuff. It wasn't bad in the sense they weren't trying. I mean, they were trying. They were trying to get submissions, moving positions, and it was, of course, a grappling battle, which most people thought it would be. But I thought Maia would have the upper advantage there, and him being a 4th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and being a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion would really help him out against Jake Shields. Because Jake Shields, he has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but yeah, and it's through a Gracie. However, it's not like he's a 4th degree black belt. It's not like he has all the accolades that Demian Maia has in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I thought, okay, well, Jake Shields would love to use his wrestling and try to think his Jiu-Jitsu is as the same par as Maia. So this would turn into a grappling war, which it did. But Maia's the one that got outpointed, and a lot of people have him losing 3 of the rounds. Yeah, the judges' scorecard, it was split decision 48-47. On 2 judges for Shields, and then 47-48. So Jake Shields won by split decision. I think it was a good judges' scorecard. I think they were obviously paying attention to this fight. As much as I hate to admit it, Jake Shields did win fair and square. I say Jake Shields should be in the top 7 ranked in the welterweight division now, because you got Demian Maia, who's ranked number 4. So it only makes sense to put Jake Shields in the top at least 7, somewhere in the top 7. So congrats to Jake Shields. Okay, then in the co-main event we had Erik Silva versus Dong Kim. Now this fight, this is one fight that I definitely got right. Dong Kim, I knew he would win. Now I wasn't expecting him to win by knockout in the 2nd round, by punches, KO, 2nd round. That was really impressive for Dong Kim. I always think of Dong Kim as the 4th degree black belt in judo. He's a grappler, great throws for MMA, good submission defense. So he loves to clinch and throw and take down and whatnot. Erik Silva, he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and judo, but just not the same caliber, I thought, as Kim, which I was right. I was right. Dong Kim seemed to be the better grappler, and then as well as he was aggressive, and I think Kim won the 1st round before he got the knockout in the 2nd. Yeah, I always talk highly of Dong Kim because I think that he's a guy that could fight St. Pierre down the line for the title. When I met Carlos Condit, one of the first things I said to him is, wow, when you knocked out Dong Kim, that was give you, you're going to be champ one day. And sure enough, he won the interim welterweight title. Yeah, Kim's for real. He's been under the radar for so long. He's been in the UFC for so long. And if you want to count the Demian Maia loss, which, I mean, that was just one of those kind of whatever days, moments, whatever. He was injured. I mean, other than that, and the legit Carlos Condit loss. I mean, the Demian Maia loss is a legit loss for Kim. But yeah, Dong Kim though, I mean, he's otherwise plowed through everyone. I mean, he's really talented. He has a skill set, and he's capable of getting knocked out, but he closes the distance so much, it's kind of makes it hard for him to get knocked out. So congrats to Dong Young Kim. Then in the light heavyweight division we had Fabio, or before we get to that, Thiago Silva and Matt Hamill. Matt Hamill, love you man, one of my favorite fighters. Please just retire. Your cardio gave out. I don't know if you had it in you. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. If you still feel like you want to fight, by all means, go fight. But yeah, Thiago Silva, you know, congrats on him. He won by unanimous decision. And credit to Matt Hamill for not getting knocked out. But I felt like Matt Hamill, had he not had the cardio issues and just really went for it, could have easily finished Thiago Silva. But the way it goes, Thiago Silva won fair and square, unanimous decision. He landed more strikes. It wasn't too much of a grappling battle, but Thiago Silva landed more strikes, clean shots, and just controlled the pace of the fight. Wasn't, well, there were some kicks. There were some good kicks on both sides. Hamill landed some good kicks. Thiago Silva landed some good inside kicks. That was a good plan, game plan on both of them to eventually wear him out for possible grappling war, but nonetheless it stayed standing, and for the most part there was punches thrown and Thiago landed more, so good job Thiago Silva. Can't wait to see your next fight. Thiago is always fun to watch. He always goes in for a finish, you can always tell. Then also in the light heavyweight division we had Fabio Maldonado versus Joey Beltran. Now this is one of the other fights on the main card I got right. Fabio Maldonado he's a talented boxer. His jiu-jitsu, he's like at a brown belt level. And Maldonado is, yeah, he had the better jiu-jitsu than Joey Beltran, who's a blue belt at this time. And I just knew that, yeah, if it went to the ground, it would favor Fabio Maldonado. But Fabio loves his boxing, and sure enough, it got him the decision by a split decision, 29-28. Good job, Fabio Maldonado. I knew that would be hard to finish Joey Beltran, because Joey Beltran, when he fought James Huna, I mean, James Huna threw everything that he had and couldn't finish Joey Beltran. So I figured Fabio, if anything, it'd go to a decision win for Fabio and not a knockout win or a submission, because Fabio, as of lately, hasn't really been going out for submissions. It's been more for knockouts for him. So good job, Fabio. Then in the welterweight division, we had rousimar, Palhares, Mike Pierce. Now this fight, I'm just up in arms over. I wanted Mike Pierce to win. I consider myself avid Mike Pierce fan. I think the guy has been under the radar for quite some time. Rousimar Palhares, he was making his move to welterweight, and you know he's a submission guy. You know what to expect with Palhares. You know he's going to go for the submissions all the time, especially with heel hooks. He loves heel hooks, and yeah, he won by submission heel hook round 1. And after the fight, the UFC cut him, and I was like, what? I could picture them yanking the submission of the night bonus from, maybe, but cutting him, I think that was a little too extreme. But, I mean, I respect the UFC's decision. I just feel like Palhares, you know, yeah, he did hold on to it a little too long, but Mike Pierce's leg didn't, you know, separate from his body or anything. You know, it was just, okay, held on it too long, everything's fine. Just don't move Palhares up the ladder that much with the win, and just don't give him the bonus. But yeah, Palhares camp, they thought it was a little too extreme too, cutting him. Plus, with a controversy that creates ratings, I wish more people would realize that you know, with stuff like this happening, people talk about it. It's water cooler talk, as they say. And Palhares, he's always exciting to watch. That's what the UFC needs. The UFC does have exciting fighters, obviously, that's why I watch it. But Palhares, nah, I mean, cutting him, you know, like, yeah, I guess move him to World Series of Fighting or Bellator now. Then, to kick off the main card, we have, oh yeah, so Palhares, he won the first round, like a minute and some odd seconds in the first round, submission heel hook, and it was an impressive win, you know, and that's another reason why I feel like cutting him was just maybe too extreme, too soon, even though he's supposedly, well, even though he's done this before in the past with the submission not letting go early enough. And then, yeah, anyways, to kick off the main card, we had a bantamweight bout. Raphael versus TJ Dillashaw. 2 top 10 ranked bantamweights. Raphael, I overlooked this guy. TJ Dillashaw, you know, everyone knows who TJ is. Raphael also. Raphael, I mean, Brian Stan's big on this guy. He's trained with Brian Stan, and Brian Stan really believed in assuncao, and I was doubting it. But I knew assuncao wouldn't go down without a fight. But yeah, they both went back and forth on so many levels, the grappling, the striking. It was such a back and forth battle. But assuncao won by split decision, 29-28, and yeah, the fight was close. It could have gone either way, but I do agree with the judges that assuncao barely did enough to win. So congrats to assuncao, and he was ranked like number 5, I believe, in the bantamweight rankings, and Dillashaw was ranked number 9. So I say with this win with assuncao, with assuncao's win, I say give him a number 1 contenders match. Wins that, give him either Cruz or Barao or whoever is champ by the time he wins that number 1 contenders match. So yeah, assuncao is the real deal. I mean, he's tough guy. He has, yeah, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's just overall talented with his striking and his speed, his footwork. So that wraps up the post-fight show for Demian Maia versus Jake Shields. And stay tuned for my next episode the next few days, which will be a pre-fight show for UFC 166, Junior Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez. I have a lot to say about that fight. So until then, see ya.